Hi everyone! Tonight I wanted to share with you some of the things that I do to help my week go more smoothly. This weekend, or this week actually, I'm single parenting. So I know that I need to be especially organized to help keep some of the craziness at bay. So I thought I'd share with you some of the things that I did this weekend and that I do most weeks just to try and keep things organized and keep everybody relatively on time. Thanks so much for joining me this evening, and for those of you who are watching the replay, thanks for that too. My name is Dr. Jennifer Hessler. I'm a naturopathic doctor and a mom of 3 little monkeys, and I've made it my mission to help educate people about healthy eating, exercising, and managing their stress in a way that's doable in the midst of all the busyness in our lives. So I'm going to share with you 3 main points that I use to help organize my week. The first thing is that each weekend I do menu planning. So this week was relatively easy because I had already created a meal plan for my online group called Your Best Life. So each week I've been sending them a meal plan and I've been following it as well. But for the rest of you, the general guidelines that I use when I'm selecting meals, I try to keep it relatively low grain, higher protein, higher healthy fats, and generally incorporate a variety of meals so that I'm pleasing hopefully most of my family's palates. I usually have one night that's a vegetarian dinner. I do a pasta, and for myself I may make zucchini noodles. That's my plan for tomorrow, but the kids prefer regular noodles. I usually will do a chicken dish, a beef or a fish dish. Everybody in the family likes fajitas, so that's easy, either making that with chicken or turkey or ground beef. And each week I select something that I bake to include in the kids' lunches. And I guess those are the main. Oh, and also I usually make something for breakfast for myself that I can just easily heat up in the mornings because I like to have, I'm not much of a cereal person. I like to have something a bit more hearty, but I don't have the time to prep it in the mornings. So I plan all of that ahead. The meal planning program that I use, it actually gives me a grocery list and then I just add a few things to that. So that makes it relatively quick and easy. I also have a few favorite cookbooks, or I'll pull out a magazine recipe when I see one that I like. So I'll just I switch it up every week. I like to have a bit of variety. So I'll go grocery shopping on the weekends, and then usually on Sundays I'll spend some time prepping. And I mean, it does take a bit of time, but I find a few hours on the weekend saves me a lot of time and stress during the week. And it also means that I enjoy cooking, so usually my husband keeps the kids entertained during that time, and it's kind of a nice quiet time for me. This time of year I'll listen to some Christmas music or watch a movie that's on TV, as usually there's a good chick flick on Sundays. So I quite enjoy doing it, and it definitely makes me feel better about the week to come. So yesterday I cut up a whole bunch of veggies. My kids love raw vegetables, so those are easy to throw into their lunches and also easy to use as a veggie for supper because they like raw better than cooked veggies, and I'm okay with that. I also made a cauliflower carrot soup, so that is what I'm using in my lunches for part of this week, and I also froze part of it to use later. I baked a pumpkin breakfast cookie, which it's quite hearty, so I'm using it in the kids' lunches. It's got some good protein and healthy fats in it. I made myself a banana oatmeal porridge that I can heat up. I made 4 servings, so that will be 4 of my mornings. And I did some other things like washing grapes so that they're ready to throw into the kids' lunches. So yeah, anything I can think of that I can do ahead of time that will last for a few days, I try and prep that on a Sunday. Oh, and I also prepped my crock pot meal that we ended up having for dinner tonight because I knew it was going to be a busy day at work, and it's so nice to come home to a meal that's already made and minimal cleanup. So the third thing that I do is to try and do as much as I can before I go to bed at night. I'm a little bit anal about cleaning up the kitchen, but I find it throws off my day to come down in the morning and see a huge mess. So I make sure the dishes are washed, not always put away. Some of them are sitting in the sink, but relatively cleaned up. I get the coffee maker ready for the next morning. That should probably be number one that I do, because that's super important. I make the school lunches for the kids, and I make my own lunch as well. So I just have to put them in the lunch bags in the morning and they're ready to go. I lay out the kids' clothes and bring them downstairs where our breakfast table is, so they can eat their breakfast and then get dressed right away, and we're not scrambling around for clothes. And I actually lay out my own clothes the night before too, because I find I'm not a morning person, and even thinking about what to wear sometimes seems a bit much. So I lay all that out as well, make sure the school bags are packed. So I try and create as organized an environment before the craziness of the morning begins, because pretty much every morning is crazy, and every morning we're rushing so that we don't miss the bus, but usually we still make it. So those are still those are my main tips. There will still be craziness along the way. The kids fight. I came home later than I thought tonight, so I didn't get to cook the vegetable I wanted to serve with our pulled pork. But I did, we just had our raw veggies, and that was fine. Just having things organized gives me some sense of peace and calm, that there's external organization at least. And also it really helps me to have a plan of what we're going to eat, so I don't come home scrambling and trying to think of what to make at the last minute. So I hope that you find that helpful. I would love if you would comment in the comments below about what you find is helpful to make your day go more organized, or your week go more organized. And I hope that everybody has a great night. Thanks so much for listening.